clips were from the same 9 News report, and there was plenty more I could show you from that particular report. That clip has already got millions of views on social media, with people from Scandinavia to South America marvelling at what's happening in Australia. I mentioned top-rating Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson. Here was his latest report on Australia.
Well, here are the numbers. From mid-July until last week, the entire nation of Australia, that's 25 million people, has averaged about 1.5 COVID deaths per day out of 25 million people. And that has been enough to justify the end of Australia and totalitarianism. In one recent case, which really does say it all, authorities executed rescue dogs, shot the dogs to death to prevent Australian dog lovers from traveling to adopt the dogs. Leaving your home is no longer allowed, so they just killed the dogs. And the population put up with it. They were told they had to. Nightly news in Australia now looks like a science fiction film.
He wasn't done there. There's more, much more.
One Australian news outlet just reported, and we're quoting, "A tip to Crime Stoppers has blown the lid on a church service attended by 60 adults and children. The gathering has been described as selfish and arrogant," end quote, for going to church. So what else in Australia is now considered, quote, selfish and arrogant? It's not just going to church or leaving your apartment or trying to adopt a dog. Watching the sunset is also selfish and arrogant. Watch.
There's a whole bunch of people down the Ryback Beach last night who thought the best thing to do was to go and watch the sunset. I'm sure it was a beautiful sunset. But that's not in the spirit or in the letter of these rules.
Scolded for watching the sunset, executing rescue dogs, a nationwide manhunt for a guy who sneezed alone in an elevator. No one in Australia is laughing at this. No one can stand back far enough to see the lunacy on display. They're too far gone.
And then Tucker took aim at how our police force treat protesters. Now, these protesters have been maligned to the point of being dehumanised by much of the Australian media. But that's not how many overseas see it.
If that were Iran, if that footage was shot in Tehran over the weekend, we'd all tug our chins and say, of course, the mullahs, they're not like us. But it's not Iran, it's not North Korea, it's Australia, what we thought was a rules-based society. What law did I break? You heard the protester ask as he's being beaten and handcuffed.
Then commentator Matt Walsh joined in the discussion, mocking Australia and what we have become.
When it comes to Australia, there is a sort of there's something poetic about seeing the country come full circle and back around to being a prison colony again, which is basically what it is there. And I think when we look at that, what we see, as you pointed out, that if the people will tolerate it, then
did you hear that? Prison colony. Do you think that's why the Lord gave me the dream where the detectives, which are basically what a protester is, someone who's looked into some facts, are in a jailhouse when they get hunted down? Prison colony. All goes back to the Lord waking me up with the word Anzacs. New Zealand's not doing this. We aren't doing this. New Zealand is scared shitless because they can see this. And they know that their leader, the mother of the nation, is standing there saying, and it is a threat. We've seen what happened in Australia. We must be better than that. We must be ahead of the game. So how does that work when their leader says that? But when you think about it, ahead of the game as in, do you think people are sitting there watching her thinking, oh yes, we must watch out for the Delta Ovid? Most of them are actually thinking about this. Because we all have very, very close links to Australia. I've already said that my brother's over there and I have 5 nieces and nephews. None of them do I have contact with. But I have a dream about my little brother Scotty. I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, which is basically what me and Scotty did. And I think there's no room. I've got my legs up on the couch. I think there's no room. And then he comes in and he sits on the couch just like a TARDIS. The couch just opens up so there's enough room for both of us. And he just leans back on me and we're sitting together. There's room for him. So I don't know how this is going to happen because he doesn't respond to any contact I make towards him. But he's going to join me on the couch. So, I know that. So I don't walk by sight, I walk by faith. And when the Lord gives me a dream or a vision, I believe it. And I please Lord. I please the Lord because I walk by faith. That's how you please the Lord. We're like a little dog, aren't we? He's our master. He is. And he's a good master. And all we want to do is please him. Do you not feel that? Do you not have that desire to please the Lord? I keep thinking of that song, I saw the Lord sitting on the throne. I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, exalted, and the train of his robe fills the temple with glory. If you know and you believe the Lord when you said that our body is a temple, that's him on the throne. He's sitting there on the throne in your temple. And he's going to fill the temple with glory. And that's why it's glorious, guys. It is glorious. So be blessed. Be blessed. Hold fast. Remember, the Lord said it's lunacy. He said he would hide you. Well, he said he would hide me. What makes me any different from you?